Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Alrighty, welcome to episode 56 of the Go Get That podcast. Apologies in advance for any audio issues. Myself and Jordan both do not have our mic today for two completely different reasons. Mine is at the cave. I was supposed to be there this weekend. Long story short, I'm not there this weekend. And Jordan's USB broke. So
yeah, there's a little.
I don't think we sound that bad, but
No, we sound fine. Just so for the YouTube, I give the YouTube viewers a technology little preview of what happens. So basically, like this cord goes into here, and this goes in my computer. But you see here, if you look closely, there's a piece that is right here that fell out, so it's broken. So no mic tonight, but hopefully our audio quality isn't as bad as Jordan's play was this week, because that was dreadful.
Man,
Yeah.
what a segue. That was well done.
Thanks,
that was
Dave.
well done.
Thank you.
I'll give you that. Yeah. It was a hate to say I told you so, but I did call miscut. I just didn't see anything here, and it's a course where if you don't hit good shots, you're gonna get unlucky. So I'm gonna start off the episode by saying I gained a lot of respect for Mr. Southwind this week. I know Jordan's called it underrated last podcast, and even though we poke fun at it all the time, and I kind of shrugged that off and didn't give it any credit, but man, oh man, that final hole is probably my favorite finishing hole in golf because of how diabolical it is. PGA Tour wise, I mean, there are a few finishing holes that I think are better, but I think for a tournament, there's not a hole in the world that could be more diabolical down the stretch, especially for how short it is, given how hard it is. It's what, 440 yards?
Yeah, it's driver 9-iron if you hit a good tee shot.
Yeah, it's not it was crazy. And that playoff was just amazing. What a fun tournament to watch down the stretch. It was great to see Will get his first win. I'm a Will Zalatoris guy. I know Jordan is too. I don't know what yours is, Doug. What's your opinion on?
Well, I actually did have a Will Zalatoris agenda.
I did not.
Mostly because I didn't think he won as much as he should. And he won today. So that obviously puts a dent in the agenda. It was a quality win too. Like he made every putt he needed to down the stretch. 10 feet to force the playoff. Probably another 10 or 12 on maybe the second playoff hole to extend it. And then 6 feet to win it. So, I mean, he did what he hadn't done in previous majors and tournaments and shut the door on Sepp Straka, who has also low-key had a really good year in terms of, like, when he plays well, he plays well. Like, he's up there near the top of the leaderboard. So, good week for those two. They've certainly solidified themselves at East Lake next week. Will especially, because he's now in the driver's seat for the ultimate prize.
He is, and on behalf of the Go Get That podcast, I got to take my credit here. I've been waiting for it. I have captured the first outright of the year in our betting segment.
You picked Will?
I picked Will.
Wow.
I can't believe you guys forgot.
Wow. Well, I know Aaron Wise. It was not an Aaron Wise week. It was looking like an Aaron Wise week, and then it turned into not so Aaron Wise week. He finished like T54 or something.
Have you updated the points?
I haven't updated it in weeks, but I know you're in dead last by a nice margin now.
Yeah, no, I was okay. All right.
Are you in the green yet?
I've been in the green.
I updated through the Open.
Wow.
And
Okay.
Bob's like $1,000, maybe a little less. Jordan was
I didn't even put
just under
in
100, I
my.
think. But that
Whoa,
changed.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you getting close to me now?
I'm
That's what I'm wondering.
probably about 400 to 500 points behind, which is
So,
doable.
so
If I
you
hit
need
another
one more
outright.
outright. You need one more outright,
Yeah, because I didn't put it in my. I didn't put
and
it
it
in the
needs to be
doc.
this week because I don't think the odds at the Tour Championship will be good enough for you to get above.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Though in the final one, you can just throw like you can put.
Do
I
it's a
mean,
random one, yeah.
you can throw it 2 outrights. You probably have to put down that much.
Yeah. So I didn't put my bets in the doc. I took a screenshot of them after we finished the pod. I put 20 on Will outright, which paid out 460. So
Yeah,
I guess a little
good.
unfortunate. I didn't put more on him, considering I put 50 on Spieth, the top 10, which obviously good plan. I actually got to check my other bet too, Hovland Group D. I don't know if that paid out. It might have, because Hovland had a pretty decent week too. So
Yeah. I watched all of Spieth's round on Thursday, and I actually didn't watch any of his round on Friday. A rare occurrence for me. And I don't know what happened. Was it bad? Because I mean Thursday was bad.
Thursday was like, if you look up in a dictionary and you look up meh, that's where that round will be. It was the most meh thing I've ever seen. Like every shot was to like 30 feet.
yeah.
He lagged it up and he made
He
it.
made a few bombs. He made like a 30-footer and he made one from off the green.
Yeah, and then it was like, all right, I'm Jordan.
Did he continue that the next day or was
I
it
don't do meh, so I have to make some birdies and miss some putts and
to be fair, if you leave yourself 18 30-footers, you're probably gonna make one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, again,
But
putting
I actually didn't see Friday either, so
You guys want the rundown?
yeah,
Everything was bad.
that's great.
I mean, it's just the swing was he was blocking everything. Like his miss was like with the driver, he was hooking everything, and with the irons, he was blocking everything, which
Okay.
isn't
It was
ideal.
consistent miss.
Oh yeah, I mean it was ugly, and then like he was out of it probably by the 12th hole, so he doubled 14, made a bogey on 16. He was out of it by then.
Yeah.
Funny enough, he birdied 18, which was hilarious, but yeah, it was predictably bad. I mentioned it in my Instagram post. I mean, this was like the first time, I guess, since Farmer, since he really just did everything bad. Because I mean, he missed the cut of the Travelers, but he putted pretty well there in those 2 days. This week, just everything. Like it was a complete mess. He didn't do anything well this week. So that was, I don't know, I just disappointing. I mean, I said coming in, I felt pretty confident. It's a course he's played pretty well at. And he was just bad. It was disappointing. It sums up really his whole year. I know the RBC, we'll get into this after the Tour Championship, but I mean, disappointing week, really a disappointing season. I don't really know how you could say the season wasn't disappointing, unless he wins the BMW and contends
But
against.
even if he wins the BMW, I will officially be as confused as I've ever been. Like, imagine you won the Scottish. Imagine you put together a great Sunday. Like, where would we be right now? Like, it's not like if he had won the Scottish, his game would be any better right now.
No, it would have been nice though.
It would have been nice, but like, it would have been such a weird way. Like,
Yeah.
there's the fact that he would have had 2 wins this year and only 1 last year is just
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
really
It's also important to look back compared to where we were a few years ago. I mean, he's had a disappointing year, and he's had some times this year where he's really looked bad. But he's still like 17th in the FedEx Cup and like 13th in the world. Like you look at how bad he must have been a few years ago, considering he was struggling to keep inside the top 50 in the world and continuously for 3 straight years struggling to make it to East Lake. So, I mean, I think it was just an off year. I think he once again had a really good year and tried to do too much in the off season. And I think he's just gonna have to go back to square one again and just.
Well, I kind of had a thought about that because I thought about the other day that I think he and Cam have put just some really good band-aids on his swing. And I don't think it's really like I think 2021 was the best Band-Aid ever. And I think this year he tried to take off the Band-Aid and like actually do the surgery, maybe. Trying to stick with the doctor analogy.
Interesting analogy.
But I think we saw that the surgery was a success at some points, right? Like he was flushing it for RBC week, Byron Nelson week, Valero, he led the field in tee to green. So like for a month, for 3 out of the 4 events, he was first in tee to green. He just couldn't putt. But then obviously the surgery also went awry in other spots and just wasn't as consistent. So I'm kind of hoping that this offseason there's some sort of like consistency to what he's doing, because the highs and the lows are, I think, better overall for winning more tournaments. The inconsistency, the volatility helps you win more, but I think it's, you get really pathetic performances occasionally, and this was one of them. So
I'm just confused. I know like strokes gained doesn't tell the entire story, but I mean he's gonna finish top 35 probably in both off the tee and approach. I mean he's a top 35 putter away from being probably a 3-time winner. I don't want to say he's neglecting or failing to like realize that he's just a good putter away from being probably a top 5 player in the world again. Like I know the ball striking, it's as you were saying, it's kind of been band-aided a little bit. But I mean for the most part this year it's been pretty good. I mean it's been good enough to
It's been fine.
It hasn't been as good as probably. I mean, off the tee has been better this year, but yeah, the iron play definitely hasn't been as good as this last year, which is a step back.
I mean, I really look at this year and I'm just like, it's been really lackluster. It's been lacking like excitement. There hasn't really been much excitement. I mean, the most excitement we've got from Jordan Spieth golf this year, if you're looking at moments, I mean, I guess the back 9 at Pebble was deep contention. But other than that, the most exciting thing involving Jordan Spieth golf this year was watching other people try and miss putts at the RBC. when he was coming down the stretch, like we really didn't think he had a chance to win. So we didn't really get to experience that back 9 win that you usually would get to experience as a fan. Even Garrett Higo, when he won an hour and a half before the leaders came in, like the leaders have been struggling all day. He was leader in the clubhouse. I mean, I forget what the numbers were or what his odds were or even what the percentages or chances that he had to win. But like, other than sort of the last hole for Cantley where it really started to come together where we had a chance, there really hasn't been much excitement this year. He's failed to live up to a lot of moments where he's been the story throughout his last 4 or 5 years. He's never really lived up to the name that he's built himself at the Charles Schwab. He should be in contention there every year, and he wasn't this year, even though he finished top 10. I mean, it was a pretty Mickey Mouse top 10. I mean, he was like what, something in the low 20s when he was on his back 9.
Yeah, he finished like T13.
Yeah.
And then you look later and he's T7. It's like, that doesn't matter.
And he was never in contention. And it's just frustrating because once again, it goes back to he has to be able to get out of the gates hot. And the putter is the club. As much as we want to say it's better to have consistent ball striking, like ball striking feeds off the putter all the time. Like if the putter is a momentum club, he could not make putts all year. It's very evident when he putts well, he plays well. I mean, he putted super well at Pebble and he was in contention for that one day. I mean, all he needs is those few days, and he didn't really put them together this year, which was unfortunate. But again, as much as it seems like, he's too far lost with the putter, he's never going to he's never going to be what he was with the putter, which is probably true, but like to an extent, I mean, you don't just lose all of that natural ability. So I just feel like he's trying too hard. I think he's got to just step back and just go back to the basics. Because I don't know, I'd like to see something change, but I find it hard to believe he's just lost all that natural ability with the putter. So we'll see.
Well, there was a little bit of change in round 2. And I saw that because Jordan
Today, this week,
Jordan mentioned something about it in one of our chats. It seemed like before he stepped into a putt, and you can see a video of it too on your Instagram, right, Jordan?
Maybe.
A fan, I think he did it in the video of the putt that he hit.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he holds his left arm and then
yeah,
right arm back on the grip and then strokes it. So I don't know exactly what that does, what he's trying to feel, but it's something. So I mean, something to kind of look at going into Wilmington next week.
I mean, again, I really like. I think that's good. I like to see the change. And I like to see him working on it, right? See him working on it. He wants to win. So it's all. I'll look more into that, like that little routine before, because I haven't seen it until right now because I wasn't here on Friday. But it's all. I feel like he can't be that far away. I feel like he's got too much natural talent for it to be that far away. But sometimes it takes a while to find that thing that sparks it, you know? So we'll see.
Yeah. What's interesting, we're kind of doing like a BMW preview as well, because I know we've got kind of things going on next week. Jordan, you're gonna be there in Wilmington, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll have somebody there, which will be dope.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be in serious contention next week. And I know that might be kind of shocking, and I don't have a lot of like he's playing well to stats to back that up, other than the last 3 times he's missed a cut and he's played the next week. The worst finish he's had is a T4. And he's got a win and a T3 other than that. When he misses the cut and then plays the next week since 2021. So I'm expecting, just based on that, I'm expecting some sort of contention next week. And I think Wilmington, I haven't done a ton of looking at it, but I think it seems like a pretty, there's not like, it doesn't scream Spieth, but it's like, it's not track.
Is it going to be hard?
Yeah.
Like I know I'm supposed to be. I'm really busy right now. I know I'm kind of slacking. I know I'm supposed to be the guy who looks into it for everyone instead of making everyone else answer my questions. But
you're a busy man.
I don't know anything about I don't know anything about this course. Well, no one does.
Do you want a little rundown?
I would like a little rundown.
All right,
I've been so busy. I would like.
It'd be great before I walk the fairways next week as well. So I could use a little.
All right, so it is a par 71 at 7,534 yards.
So long.
So it's long. I have the scorecard here too. There's 2 par 5s that are over
620, I think.
630 yards. They're also holes 12 and 14, so they're like right next to each other. What else? There are 4 holes with water. 91 bunkers. So a lot of bunkers. And the short game wasn't good this week, so that's awesome.
Yeah. So So we're thinking a little closer to Olympia Fields than Caves
Yeah,
Valley.
there hasn't been much rain in the area.
Caves Valley was a little easy, I'd say.
It's
A
kind of
Just a
little.
tad.
unfortunate because they could have played so much tougher, but that's beyond the point. There's actually no rain in the forecast. I saw Monday and Tuesday,
That's
it was
good.
looking like we might get some rain. We have not gotten a lot of rain on the East Coast lately, so I'm thinking, I don't know how windy it'll be. I'm
It's
thinking
not windy.
high single digits to probably low double digits. There's going to be fescue. It says 4-inch rough with tall fescue. So I'd highly recommend Jordan figures out the low hook because I don't want to be following him around in fescue. I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know as much as I did about Caves Valley, but that's just a little rundown on like the stat
Yeah.
sheet they do for every course. It should be fun, and I think it's gonna play relatively tough, which is also cool.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think from what the pictures that I've seen of it too, I think it should present well on TV if NBC does it right, which they don't ever. Because
Oh,
NBC is just I don't even want to get into it. They make me mad.
It'll be
I-
fun. Like I'm not just saying it because I'm gonna be there, but I think it's always cool when there's new courses too.
Yeah.
I think
yeah. That being said, very eager to get back to Olympia Fields. I mean, what a golf course
yeah,
that is.
agreed.
Yeah, I again, I want to bring. Sorry, I'm tired and like struggling to think right now. I want to bring back a point that we brought up last episode that he once again failed to do, literally in the first 9 that he played this week. And he just continues to struggle to par the hard holes. I mean, it was. I mean, I guess again, and Jordan and I were literally on the same page on this. I mean, fine, you can have your bogey on 18, but I mean, 17 is just a hole that you can't bogey when you do the hard part and get it on the green too. Like, it's just you're throwing away shots there, and it's how many over was he at that point? I mean,
Even.
he was even going into 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had
3
7.
jack. Yeah. Jesus.
So
2 feet.
yeah, it was, and then you got the 2 under, right?
1 under. And then he snap hooked it into the trees on 6.
Yeah, go figure.
And then he got to 1 over, and then he got it back to even.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's just
He made 2. He made 2 bogeys coming in, but I forgot about the 30-footer he hit on 9. Yeah, it's that's stuff that good players do. Like you see, um, um, Cam Smith, he makes every 10-foot par save he has to when he's in contention. It's not even just the saves. I mean, Jordan's short game's a lot better than Cam Smith around the greens. Historically, maybe not right now. I'd say right now Jordan's is not great. But like it doesn't even need to be 10-foot par putts. Like historically, Jordan's been a guy who has gotten up and down from places that he shouldn't have gotten up and down. Like that's been his big advantage, is that he can pull off a shot that many other players can't. And now he's just not pulling them off, which is fine in some occasions, but then he's over the green, uphill lie, back into the wind, and he puts it to 12 feet. Like that's just not a good shot. So I need to see some improvement there. I need to see some better grind. And it's not that he's not grinding, but he's not grinding like scores out.
It's either, I think to your point, like it's either really good and special or it's really bad. There's no just like, he doesn't make anything look very simple
Yeah.
in terms of how he plays holes.
Yeah.
And it's like, he says boring golf is always better, but he never plays boring golf. So
Never.
it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of makes it fun, and that's what makes him him. And I think that leads to volatility over the course of time. And I think you see that, right? You see it in his career, the fast start kind of wonky last few years, but who knows what's going to happen even next week, let alone next season, right?
I mean, the thing about the putter that you look at, it's just like even the historically really bad putters, like the ones who have one good week and win, like the Keegan Bradleys of the world. I mean, you look at someone like Will Zalatoris, who is actually a pretty good putter. He just has a really bad and unfundamental putting stroke. You look at those 2 putts he made on 18 in the playoff, like Spieth doesn't make those right now if he has to. Which is like unfortunate because you look at Will Zalatoris and you're like, how does a guy with that putting stroke make it? And then the guy who had probably the best putting season in the history of the PGA Tour, like there's no doubt in anyone's mind that he wouldn't have made that putt. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's weird. It's weird that he hasn't had that one fluke week, which is not what I want. I don't want him to be one of those guys who wins once a year because he just flukes it around with the putter. But he didn't have that this year. Like the one time he won, he didn't putt well at all.
Yet. He hasn't had it yet. I'm telling you, next
Wilmington,
week.
here we go.
Next week.
Yeah. It's all putter. I still think it's all putter. I think the putter's the issue. And one other thing I want to bring up is someone mentioned something about Greller and how you look at WillieZ this week with a new caddy. And I'm just like, I just don't see how any caddy could solve the issue that he has right now. I don't think it's an issue of reading greens.
Yeah, also a big difference from a 0-time PGA Tour winner to a 13-time PGA Tour winner and a 3-time major champion who's been the caddy's been through it all, the switch caddies. So.
Yeah, I know. And I'm
especially
not
over like a year that hasn't been like. I mean, it's been he's going to be disappointed, but like he hasn't played horrible golf this year.
Yeah,
like it's not like a Ricky situation. Like Ricky, I think was kind of due for a change, and he made his change this week. So, but he got off to a great start this week. I mean, he obviously.
Yeah. Well, he played 53 good holes, and then number 8
he made it
Saturday got him.
Yeah. So yeah.
But tough flower wilted. That's okay.
Oh yeah, his season's done, right?
Yeah,
he's
it
done.
is. So is Anirban Lahiri's and Lee Hodges, who had a great day today, but you think he bogeyed 18, and that cost him the like
71.
The 8 points that he needed for I think he's 72 or something like that. I don't remember. Well, Anirban's 71. I think Alex Smalley is the last guy into Wilmington.
It was Clark, I think, right?
I don't remember.
It was Clark.
Okay. Smalley's like something close to that then.
Yeah. So yeah.
Clark was the last guy in. I see Lahiri is the odd man out.
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough. 3 points.
Sucks.
And all he had to do was win the Players, and he would have been in.
Poor Bond.
Yeah.
Gary Woodland's season's over too. Interesting.
I know. Gary Woodland, man.
Daniel Berger.
He's gonna go down as like one of those guys that probably deserved a major and got their major, but that's like the only major. You know what I'm saying?
How about Lucas Glover turning back the clock?
Man. Dude, it was, it's funny too, is I saw Twitter yesterday and a lot of those like live golf accounts posting the leaderboard. And it's like, it's got JJ Spawn, Trey Mullinax, Sepp Straka at the top or whatever. And they're like, oh, I bet the PGA Tour is loving this. Like, yeah.
Those accounts are freaking pathetic.
They're loving Will Zalatoris winning the first playoff event. John Rahm.
That was electric.
Adam Scott, T5. Like,
Scott turning back the clock. I love it.
The playoff was sick too.
Playoff was amazing.
Fun. So
amazing.
Southbound delivered this year.
Southwind did deliver.
I also saw our man Robert Streb season sadly came to an end as well.
That hurt.
Oh,
that hurts.
That does hurt.
I wasn't expecting that type of news to hit me tonight.
He would have tore up Wilmington too.
I know, dude. I was literally just thinking about that. Like that was his time.
Yeah, and then Eastlake.
If he
They're
ever
lucky.
gets his chance on East Lake, good luck to the field.
The field is lucky, man. They got so
Yeah.
lucky.
Because,
You know?
Southwind might not fit his game, but all he needed was just 1 week, and he would have. I mean, I think it's safe. I think it's safe to say that he would have been in deep contention. If
Yeah.
not more.
Dude, here's the thing. You know what's funny? I literally, when I tweeted Friday that I think Spieth's gonna be in serious contention next week, I had to tone that down because I almost said he was gonna win next week.
He's not winning next week.
Yeah, if
I'm gonna be there, which already means he's not gonna win next
Oh,
week.
okay, that's true.
A second at best.
So that's why I said contention.
How about the one time I guaranteed Spieth wasn't gonna win and put a Scotty Cameron on the line, he did end up winning.
Yeah.
Happens.
I don't know if I have the funds to put another Scotty Cameron on the line, but that was a
If you follow Elise,
It's a
you
bad
will.
beat.
yes. Keep following Elise. Elise hit another one this week, back to back,
That's 7 now, right?
7, and she has 12 runner-ups this year.
Didn't Tom Kim have another great week? Oh my God.
He
T13.
shot like 9 under, right?
Yeah, he was T13 and he
Dude.
lost strokes putting for the week. Come on.
Yeah, Tom Kim is literally going to. I mean,
Come on.
Spieth would be lucky to make it to the 14th hole in the President's.
Yeah. No, I think we've established it's a 6 and 5 if he plays.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, we're recording this on a Sunday night, so
Yeah.
I guess this could change. It's probably going to be posted, I'm thinking Tuesday at midnight, just in the middle of the recap and the preview usual schedule since we're doing one video. So he'll be paired with Max Homa and Victor Hovland at the BMW, which is cool. We've been with Homa a lot this year. Bob and I got to see Homa in person, which was
I
fun.
got to watch Homa top at about 5 feet. Did you see that shot, Jordan?
Yeah, I did. I can only remember the the third hole when Spieth hit it into the mound and everyone started running over because the ball was about. You remember that, Bob? At the third hole, where he hit it into the mound and everyone started running over because they didn't know where the ball went, and he made double on that hole. I think it was
Oh yeah.
Saturday, maybe.
Friday.
Was it Friday?
Because it put him outside the cut line.
Yeah, I
Like,
did. You're
can't
right.
watch this anymore. So I played golf and I shot 87.
Oh, a disgrace. That was a disgrace.
Yeah.
That was so bad because he tried to get it up near and then he just hit it straight into the hill.
Yeah, we
I'm
couldn't
having-
see it. We couldn't get over there. So
Yeah. I'm having my own Spieth moment in my golf life right now. I've fired 3 straight rounds in the 80s.
Oh, welcome.
So I got to a plus handicap for the first time, and since then I've shot 77, 80, 86, 81. I guess I'm just a mental disaster because I don't know. I'm putting down the clubs for a week though before we get into fall season and stuff. So going on a little trip with my friends this week. So I won't see. Actually, that's a lie. If Spieth has a Thursday tee time on Thursday, I'll be able to catch some of the rounds. And then this weekend I'll be back.
On Thursday. I do believe he'll have a Thursday tee time on Thursday.
Did I say Thursday
God
tee time?
willing, yeah.
I meant late.
Late Thursday tee
If he
time.
has a late Thursday tee time.
It'll be
I think
probably
they're pretty
the time
bunched
will be
up.
from like 9:30 to probably noon.
Well, I'll catch them round.
Yeah.
I'll probably get home around noon. So
You'll get home around noon.
Yeah.
Then you'll catch most of it. So
there's a good chance I'd knock out. So I'll probably be
Yeah,
tired.
last year the first tee time was 9:40 and the last was at 2:19. And I assume it should probably be very similar this year.
yeah. Okay. And Homa and Hovland. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Hovland's fun to watch. That should be featured as well.
Yeah.
So I might be on that group. We'll see.
I miss the Northern Trust. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun tournament. They always went to pretty fun courses. I know TPC Boston was a little bit easy, but Liberty National was sick. So I guess that's it.
The Monday
It's that-
round at Liberty National last year was sick.
What?
The Monday round last year at Liberty National was interesting.
What was
Yeah.
that?
They played Monday because it rained like all day Thursday, maybe.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Didn't Spieth shoot an 80 that day?
Yeah.
You shot 80? No.
I think it was 80.
Oh, it wasn't 80. I remember that. Yeah, it wasn't 80. Because he shot 62. And so he tied the course record and shot 80 in the same week. I remember that, yeah.
Phone brand.
He had 3 awful rounds last year, and then there's just that
Well,
162 in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Do we have any more thoughts about Zalatoris, Southwind,
That was
Straka?
some brutal timing for that Cam Smith ruling.
Yeah, that was kind of some BS.
I agree.
Like you can't. How do you not know that before?
Yeah, I have like at that point, where does that end? Like, what if that happened on Thursday? Are they gonna penalize them? Like,
Friday midday?
yeah,
Like-
at that point, I think you gotta. I mean,
Yeah, I think Monahan knew what he was doing.
do you think it was on purpose?
Where'd Smith finish? He shot even par today. I don't know if it was on purpose, but I think if that was Spieth, they definitely try and get that out earlier. You know, I
can't
think they
dispute
just were like biding their time with it. And double checking a lot of stuff. Like, why not send it to New York 3 or 4 times? Yeah. Secaucus.
Man, so petty right now. What's going on? It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love it though. The content's great.
this is good.
See.
Yeah, speaking of content, Patrick Reed T31 in the Asian Tour event.
Really? Didn't he make a home run?
He did make a hole in one. It got him, I think, like half a OWGR point. So he is rising up the ranks. VC 606 Nosferatu, the guy who does OWGR
Yeah.
on Twitter, tweeted out like Reed's really making a push for number 5 player in the top 5 player in the world, because that was one of Reed's goals a long time. It's a great tweet, high quality, sarcasm and satire and jabbing. But anyway, yeah, just looking through this leaderboard, see if anybody else. Finale T5, jeez, dude's cooking. Morikawa finally played well. That might be something to look at in the future. Wonder what his tee to green stuff. Well, okay, he was all right on approach. He just putted well this week, so we'll see. It's been a while since he's been like really, really good. But
Just one last comment for me. I'm looking at East Lake, and it looks like 24 of 30 spots have already been secured. Does that shock you guys?
is that what do you mean?
It yeah, it looks like 24 of the 30 spots have already been secured.
Just points wise?
Yeah, the top 24, they could finish the last 24 at the BMW and they'd still be in. It looks like there will only be 6 spots up for grabs at the BMW.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Speaking of FedEx Cup format and the atrocity that it is, it once again provided a great winner this week. But I mean, there was a bit of a doomsday scenario this week for the
If
FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
If Straka had won that and got to number 2.
Straka, Glover, Brian Harmon, and to get to number 2 or number 1.
But Straka more importantly, because I mean Straka, I know he's won this year, but he's missed 6 straight cuts.
Yeah.
And he would be 2 in the standings going. Like that would have been doomsday scenario. That would have been the scenario you were talking about last week where they would have had to rethink. Because if he went on to win the FedEx Cup like that,
yeah, that wouldn't. Yeah. And Zalatoris too. Like I know this is his first win, but he's now got 9 top 10s this year.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's deserving of
it. So he's been playing well. I still think Scotty and Cam, would be 1 and 2. But it does make sense that I just a playoff win. I don't think should get you 2,000 points. It's not 4 times the size of a normal event. And I kind of there's just got to be a better way to like line them up going into East Lake if you're going to do the staggered strokes, but that's probably a different conversation for a
It's
different.
it's a never-ending conversation. Should we, for a short period of time, shift towards Wilmington? Not much to talk about, but
I think we've covered what we know, right?
yeah,
Cover the
I'm.
points. Yeah.
I'll give my. We'll send the bets out later this week and the Thrive. I'll give my thoughts. I don't know. I'm gonna go T41. I think he has one good round this week. Other than that, I actually think it might be the first round. I think he has a good first round. I think he's due. He's just due. Purely because he's due. He's due for a good first round. And then the rest of the game will catch up to him. And he'll finish T41. But I think he shoots 4 under first round. Yeah.
I'll go, Dan, since you said he's in contention. I don't think he's gonna play well. I will say I'll be there Wednesday. I'll be interested to see if what he's working on, how he plays in the Pro-Am. I know that's not the reason was if he plays well in the Pro-Am. That's why. I mean, I'm just curious how he plays. I think the golf course is going to be tough, and I see Fescue, and Fescue doesn't scream Jordan Spieth at the moment with how he was driving it this week. So I'll go 70 players. I'll go T46.
Jeez. I think I'm gonna end up
T3.
T. I want to say T6, but I think he just kind of like falls back to T6. I think it's a disappointing Sunday, which is disappointing, but it'll be serious contention because I think they'll get a bunch. They'll get a bunch at the top this week. Like I think this course, you're gonna see the winner be a lot better than the person in last place. Like there's just gonna be a big gap between those people. And I think you get 7 or 8 dudes, and most of them are gonna be elite players that are gonna rise, and he's gonna be one of them. He's gonna get beat on Sunday. So that's my prediction. But we'll see. That could change if the Pro-Am goes poorly. Because it didn't go well at the Travelers, and we know how that worked out. Ain't that
Yeah,
right?
I mean the Pro-Am gives you a pretty good because if you're hitting good shots, you're hitting good shots.
Right. Well, it's like, you don't like turn it on once the actual tournament starts. If you're just playing well, you play well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate. We got any closing thoughts?
no. I did have a question of the pod.
Thank you.
It's not like, the most amazing question. It's not gonna surprise a lot of people, but I do think it could inspire some debate.
Ooh.
And we're gonna go.
I like inspiration.
We're gonna go because it's somewhat coming up. The fall's coming up. Looking at Halloween, and I think you probably know where this is going by this point. But I want to know what's your favorite Halloween candy, and only chocolate edition though, because I do think that there's a big. Actually, would you rather pull out a chocolate candy or a fruit candy? And
I mean, it
my,
really depends. I mean, I don't know. I will say, I think candy corn is the worst creation to man. Whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that orange and yellow and
it's awful. Yeah.
It's like good for 3 of them. You have 3 candy corns and you're chilling. But you do not need more than 3 candy corns or else they taste bad.
I think it's interesting.
Candy corn's very mid.
That's a good way of putting it.
It's quite far down my list.
I think it might be subpar.
That's fair.
Low mid, sub mid.
Some. All right.
But what do you hold on, Jordan, what are you picking? Fruit or chocolate?
I think if you take all of the chocolate candies and all of the fruit candies, I'd have to go chocolate. Because I'll eat anything chocolate probably. And there's some fruit candies that are eh.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you have two, like if you're gonna pull out chocolate, like there's like I'd say a 90% chance.
Yeah.
It's a great candy. With fruit, you're really, I mean, you can get some really bad gummy worms down there. I mean,
I don't know.
there's just a lot of room. Like it's risky. It's a risky play if you go fruit.
That's fair. I think the cream of the crop for fruit though, the best fruits beat the best chocolates. And that's about that.
Well, it's a mood thing. Like Sour Patch
Sour
Kids,
Patch or
Sour Patch watermelon,
those are overrated.
Swedish fish. That stuff is top notch. But like then you have your Twixes and your Kit Kats.
Twixes are so good. You know it's up 100 grand bars.
Those are pretty mid.
They might be the best.
Butterfingers are awful.
Yeah. Almond Joys are not my favorite.
Almond Joys are pretty bad.
Yeah. I always donate those to people who eat Almond Joys. I don't know why I said
You're a
don't.
good person, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll stir some debate.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's certainly not a Crocs and socks take or a case
Ooh, that was a big one.
But yeah, I haven't my creativity is not.
Well, I'm sure you're headed back. When do you guys go back to college?
Pretty soon.
What day?
I think it was before me.
It's 29th is day one.
I go back to school the 1st.
Damn, I'm after both of you.
When are you back?
Let's see. I think like the 5th.
Dang.
What's the President's Cup dates?
End of September.
End of September, yeah. That'll be a year since we
28th.
started.
Right.
Since the Ryder Cup. We're getting up on our anniversary.
Yay. What a wonderful year it's been.
Yeah, we'll have to send each other cakes or something like that.
Hey, we could
do that.
Yeah, like a secret Santa type thing. Like
We
can figure something out. But we're still gonna have to come out with a prize for the winner, aka me, of the or we could also do like punishment for the loser. I don't know.
Well,
We've been doing very lenient punishments.
I strongly veto against the punishment.
Well, we'll see. We can think about it. We'll come up with the one before we start the next season. So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe
we'll people could let us know what they want.
Yeah.
Punishment.
DM us, put in the comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll read them.
Yeah.
But I think that'll wrap up this episode. Disappointing week, but Dan's feeling some serious contention at the BMW.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there might be.
Dan's feeling it. Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from, but
me neither.
Live pod next week.
I have no clue.
There might be.
Take care, y'all.
Peace.